Salam Sadiqa Shefelik. Ishmi Ethan, and you're watching the 11 Bang Bang channel. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the 11 Bang Bang channel. I'm your host Ethan Woods, and today we're shooting something that's different but not so different than you might think. We're shooting this Arabian, I would say Arabian, it could be Balkan, I should say Islamic, Doglock, Miquelet lock, Musket. We've been shooting it today a little bit, I will admit, but I found it's actually a pretty good shooter. It is a 69 caliber, and it's got a rudimentary sighting system on it. And yeah, it's actually quite a bit of fun to shoot. So we're loaded up with 85 grains of black powder, 1F black powder, and a 64 caliber round ball here. And let's go ahead and take another shot right quick. If you couldn't tell, this gun's a little bit long. So let's go ahead and try to shoot a target over there a little bit. Allah Akbar. This is a fun gun to shoot, guys. So we got our powder poured. Go ahead and grab a ball here. Go. Get a piece of brown paper here. Wad that up, put it on top. Now this does not have the original rammer because, well, I don't know why, but it just don't. So we got to use what we got here, which likes to grab the paper and pull it back on you. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a rammer that actually had like a tulip head or a trumpet head or something on the end of it instead of that thing. Alright, paper's down. We got powder patch and ball, or powder wad and ball. Alright, now here's the fun part. Let's go ahead and let's pull this back to half cock, and to do that, it is a dog lock, so I'm going to go halfway, and I'm going to throw the dog over it like that, and you can see we are on half cock. That's our safety. So let's go ahead and let's put some powder in here. Close the hammer. Oh, that's a heavy spring. There, I hit it. So what do we know about this gun? Exactly. Well, not a whole awful lot, if we're being honest here. We found this at a gun auction. And where was that gun auction at, Caleb?
Larned.
Yeah, found this at a gun auction in Larned, Kansas. I think you spent what, $200 on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what it was, so they didn't want it.
Nobody wanted it. Nobody knew what it was. But I had only seen a fuzzy picture of it, and I thought it was a Snap-ons or a Snap-ons. But no, it's a Miquelet Doglock, and the engraving on this gun, it's got a lot of engraving on it, and it's some really nice engraving, especially down on the lock. It's actually, the workmanship on this gun is pretty good. I would say that this gun was probably made anywhere from the 18th to the 19th century. And there is a story that I'd like to tell from an old World War II vet I talked to. He's gone now, but he had served in Northern Africa and he had served in the Middle East. And he had mentioned that in the Middle East, the Bedouins, he said they rode them, he'd talk about them, he said they rode camels still, and he said, and they carried these super long flintlock guns in World War II, which I tend to kind of believe him, because if you know the Bedouins, they still use some pretty antiquated stuff. The reliability of this gun there's something to be said about that. I'm liking this gun. It is a very well-made gun for what it is. Right where I was aiming. So I'm gonna see here what I can't do against this milk jug. Right. Well, I hit it, but there's no water in it. Oh well, we need to adjust our flint, because that is one thing about this massive spring on this gun. It'll eat a flint pretty quick. All right, so where do we know that this gun in particular comes from? Well, we really don't know at all where it comes from. In all reality, it could come from any one of the Islamic countries. The only reason why I say that is because it has quite a few Islamic markings on it, and one in particular that suspiciously looks very similar to an Egyptian flag from the 1940s, but I digress. So I think this might be an Egyptian gun. I'm not sure, but it is serial number 00000 or 1558. Just depends on when you're thinking about it. Who knows? Maybe 1558 was when it was made. What do you want to bet?
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
I do also think it is hilarious that we have this very nicely filed out rear sight, and then our front sight is pretty much non-existent. This is a two-part rear sight because there's also a groove cut into the little breech plate or breech plug right there, and that is actually what I use for put the bead in. But really, this gun is a pretty nice built gun. I really do like shooting it, albeit it's a little bit heavy off to a certain side, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, it's a pretty fun gun to shoot. In all reality, it's a very well built gun. I'm actually pretty impressed with whoever built this. He was quite the craftsman. So what do I mean when I talk about a Doglock or a Miquelet lock? Well, let me show you here. The way this gun works, it's based off of a 17th century English design, or what was back then called the English lock, and it doesn't have a half cock on a tumbler on the inside like you would think. Instead, what it has is, that's a pain. Instead, what we have here is we have the dog. You couldn't tell. Focus, focus. Yeah, the dog right there. And what that does is I'm gonna have to have an extra hand to help me out here. Well, hold his hand. It's going out of focus. I'll hold it for the camera. Caleb, you demonstrate. So you pull it to half cock. You do like that right there. Yeah, so that is your half cock. Then you can prime and you can put your powder in the pan right there. And then what makes it a Miquelet lock is well, it's just the style in general, but the main thing that denotes that is these grooves cut into the hammer up here, if you can see right there. And what that does is it gives a smaller surface area for the flint to scrape against, makes it go a lot faster, and it also makes it more assured, if you would, for little steel shavings to come off of them little grooved pieces of steel right there, and it makes it a very reliable lock. I know I'm going to jinx myself right here, but we haven't had a misfire yet with this gun today, which is kind of impressive.
Is this where you say, and you don't have to worry about sharpening the flint, because every time you shoot, it sharpens the flint?
Yeah, if you couldn't tell by right there, that big old chunk that got knocked off, the mainspring on this thing is insanely heavy. But I'll go ahead and I'll show you some of the markings here. You can see there, we are either serial number 0000 or we're serial number, flip it around here for you, 1558. Kind of interesting. You can see also the Islamic markings along the barrel, and this one in particular, if I can get it to focus in here, suspiciously looks like a Egyptian flag from the 1940s. Barrel bands are not a whole lot to write home on. Another reason why we're not loading it very hot, because they were getting a little old. We're not going to shoot this gun obviously a whole lot because of that. But yeah, there you can see we have that right there. Also, it has a brass breech plug. Another reason why I'm not loading this for bear. The gun is, as I'd stated before, a 69 caliber. Albeit at the at the muzzle here, it's about a 72 caliber, and I had originally thought it was a 72 caliber, but if you look, once again, guys, I said this is actually a pretty well-made piece, because it's actually got almost like a coned barrel. It's actually got a flared muzzle like a blunderbuss, just slightly, so it makes it easier to reload. All in all, I really like this gun. This is the first time I'd shot it today. Not gonna lie, I knew that it wasn't supposed to blow up on me because we had done some testing, but I was a little nervous pulling the trigger on it for the first time. But yeah, it does go bang, and it actually goes bang fairly accurately. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all I got for you today. So what do I think about these guns? Obviously, before you go and do something stupid like we've done today, you may want to go test your gun before you shoot it if it looks like this, because a lot of these are kind of roughly hammered out of some pretty crude materials, but this gun works pretty good. So I really do like shooting this gun a lot. So as always, thank you for watching. Trust in God. Allah Akbar. And keep your powder dry. Bye.
I got showered that time.
Only a boy named David. Only a little 69 caliber musket. Only a boy named David. But the dirt he made Goliath fit. Imagine if David had a musket. Old Goliath wouldn't know what to think. I mean, technically he didn't really know what to think after he got smacked in the head with a rock either, and that put him out of the fight, but, you know. There's the mosquitoes.